Okay, this is the basic screen, the default screen which comes to your desktop or laptop when you open up AutoCAD 2020. So the very first step is you click over here, start drawing, or you can click on this plus sign also to create a new drawing. If you want to open the previous files as in many other softwares, MS Word or MS Excel also, the similar formatting is there. You can open previous files, you can open a sheet set, you can open some templates also, and you can explore some sample drawings also. So first step is we click over here, start a new drawing. So this is the default window which has come up now. And the very first step over here I would like to tell you in which you have to do in each and every drawing is save your drawing, because otherwise if you do lot of work then later on if you forget to save your work then it becomes really problematic for you. So in a very first step you click on this save button, or you can just press Ctrl plus S, Ctrl S, right? This is a shortcut for saving the drawing file. The same shortcut is used in many other softwares also. So you can create a new folder also over here. Let's say there is a new folder, engineering graphics EG2021, enter, and here you can name the file also as per the title. Let's say this is a basic introduction file, so basic introduction 1. So click over here, save. Now your drawing file has been saved with that name which was specified, basic introduction, in the folder named EG2021. Right. So here let us first start with this line command. So when I hover the mouse over this line command, it gives me all the description which is useful for using this command. Like it tells me, the computer tells me that it creates a straight line segments. Now with line you can create a series of continuous line segments. Each segment is a line object that can be edited separately. Now this is how you can draw a line. So click over here. Let us say now it is asking me specify first point. This is the command window where through which the computer asks me some questions and I reply to those questions, and this is how we interact with the computer while working in AutoCAD. And here this is only a single line. It can be increased to multiple lines also. That time it is called as a command window, and at present only a single line is there, so it's better to call it as command line. Now the computer is asking me specify first point, so I click on the screens and I specify the first point. Now again it is asking me specify next point, so I can click over here. Again it is asking me specify next point. In the command window you can read it is asking me again specify next point, so I can again click the next point and again the next point and so on. Now I can see different options over here, like one is close. If I want to close the line, so let us use this option. So you can either click on this option close, or you can just type the highlighted alphabet, so that is C, right? Capital C. So type C over here and press enter. So you can see the line has been closed. Now suppose you want to erase this, so how to do that? Just click on the screen and then drag the mouse towards right, and then again click on the screen. So all the objects have been selected. So just press del button or delete button and the objects will be deleted. Again I click on line tool. Now again it is asking specify first point. Let us say this is first point, next point, next point, next point, and let's say next point. And now let's say I clicked erroneously by mistake the last point, right? I do not want to I didn't want to really mean to click over here. It was just got clicked by chance, by mistake. So you can undo that also. You can undo the last execution also. So for that, you can see over here there is an option undo. So you can either click over here or type U and press enter. So I am clicking on undo button, undo word over here. So you can see the last option has been undone. The recently selected point has been now deselected. So again it is asking me line specify next point. So it will keep on asking me the next point until I tell the computer that I do not want to pick any other point, any next point. So how to tell the computer that I don't want to pick any next point? So for that you can either exit the command over here, right? Or you could also simply press enter or spacebar. So even if you simply press enter, the computer will understand that the user is not interested in picking any more point, and it will finish the command over there. Now instead of clicking on this line tool, there are other methods also. You can type the line command in the command line also. Type line, press enter or spacebar. I prefer to press spacebar rather than enter, because it seems to be more convenient. It's a lengthy button, and you can easily reach it. It is near the bottom of the keyboard, so it can be easily located. So again it is asking me specify first point. Let's say this is first point, second, and then I press spacebar. There is a shortcut also for line command. So L is the shortcut for line command. So you can, instead of writing the complete word line, you can simply write L and press enter. The same command will be executed. Again it is asking me specify first point. So let's say this is first point. Next point, let's say this is next point. No more points, press enter or spacebar. So I again repeat the command. Now this time what I do not want to type any word. I just press upward arrow key. So when I press upward arrow key, there are different arrow keys on your computer, right? Upward, downward, left and right. So you press upward arrow key, and then the previous recent commands which you have used, these will be shown on the command line. So I just press upward arrow key, and you can see I have now I am now able to see the line command available in the command line. So I press enter. Now it is asking me specify first point. So this time I want to I want to give the coordinates. I want to mention the coordinates this time. I want to start the line from a specific point in the coordinate system. I want to start the line from origin, that is 0, 0. So I type 0, 0 and then I press enter. Then I want to click the next point. I want to take the next point as 100, 100. So 100, 100 and press enter. No more points, again press enter. The line has been drawn, but at present it is not visible on the screen because the area falling between 0, 0 and 100, 100, that is not visible at present in this window. So where is that? So you can click on, you can type the command Z, that is the shortcut for zoom, press enter and just use the first option over here, all. So near the lower left corner you can see the command, the line which we had drawn. This is starting from 0, 0 and ending up to 100, 100. So these extra lines, these you can delete now. So I click over here on the screen, drag the mouse towards left, and then again I click on the screen and press delete button. So those objects have been deleted now. Again I give zoom command, enter, and I use the first option, all. Now I use pan command, P for pan, enter, and click on the screen and drag. So this point is your 0, 0 and this is 100, 100. Okay, now if you want to further zoom in or zoom out, you can also use a scrolling button on your mouse, like this is zooming in and this is zooming out. And for placing it properly on the screen, you can click and drag the drawing and place it as to make it to give a convenient view on the screen. Okay, now to come out of this pan command, just press escape button over here and you will be able to come out of this command pan, or you can also press enter or spacebar. Now again I give line command L, enter. Now I want to draw a line starting from 0, 0. Next point 10, 0. Next point 10, 10. Next point 20, 10. Next point 20, 20. So you can see a kind of a stair like drawing geometry is being drawn, right? First I am moving horizontally 10 units, then vertically 10 units. So next point will be add 10 units into the horizontal direction, so that will be 30. Keep y direction as same, y axis value as same, so that is 30. So 30, 20. Then next point 30, 30. Then next point 40, 30. And next point 40, 40. Right? So you can see it is a bit difficult to remember the coordinates this way, right? So I will tell you a different easier method to enter the points now. The one which we have just now used, that method is called as absolute Cartesian coordinate method. This method of entering the coordinates through the command line and keyboard, this method is known as, this is a Cartesian coordinate based method, right? And absolute values of the coordinates are used. So this is called absolute Cartesian coordinates method. Okay, next is relative Cartesian coordinate method, where instead of specifying x comma y, we will specify delta x comma delta y. So how to do that? I gave line command L, enter. Now I give the first point as 50, 0. So I want to start the line from here, right from here, and then I move to, I wish to move towards towards x axis through a distance 10, right? And that means delta x will be 10. So I just type at the rate. At the rate means it tells the computer that now the user is trying to enter relative coordinates. So at the rate, now type delta x value. Delta x value here it is 10 and delta y is 0. So just type 0, enter. Next point is at the rate 0, 10. Then at the rate 10, 0. Then at the rate 0, 10. Then at the rate 10, 0. Now see, it is so easy to remember the coordinates this way, delta x, delta y format. At the rate 0, 10. At the rate 10, 0. And at the rate 0, 10. And at the rate 10, 0. No more points, so press enter. So the method which we just used just now, that is called as relative Cartesian coordinates method. You can also specify the coordinates using polar coordinate method. So for that I again give line command, line, enter. Now it is asking specify first point. So first point is, let's say this is 100, 0. So I want to start the line from here. Now I want to go vertically up to this end, right? So what will be the coordinates of this end? Polar coordinates with respect to the origin. Okay, instead of going to this end, let us first go to some this end, right? This will be easier for you to understand. So what will be the polar coordinates of this end, right? The polar coordinates r comma theta, right? R will be in the vertical direction, the radius in this case would be 100, and theta is 90 degree. So these r theta will be the absolute polar coordinates of this point. So I write 100 and less than means angle, at an angle of 90 degree, and I press enter. So you can see that point has been picked up. How this 100 less than 90 means as soon as the computer sees the less than symbol between the coordinate values, it understands that the user is trying to tell me the absolute polar coordinate values. So that is in the form of r less than theta. Now for this particular point, absolute r is with respect to region, it is 100, and theta is 90 degree. Now what if I want to reach up to this point? Now what will be the polar coordinate here? So this is difficult to mention at present, right? Because then you will have to first calculate the hypotenuse value over here, the distance between this point and this one. That will be around 100 root 2, and theta, absolute theta will be 45 degree. So it is difficult to enter it that way. So one is I can either use Cartesian coordinate, but no, I don't want to use that. I want to make use of polar coordinate. So how to do that? I will make use of relative polar coordinate method. So how to do that? Just type add the rate. Add the rate means I am going to use relative coordinates. Now what I do, I say 100 less than 0. So what does it mean? Add the rate tells the computer that I am going to use relative coordinate method. Less than tells the computer that I am going to use polar coordinate method, right? So combination of these two means I am going to use relative polar coordinate method. In that sense, what the computer will understand, it will take the last selected point as the origin. Instead of taking this as origin, now for this particular execution of this step of line command, this last point will be taken as origin, and r and theta will be taken with respect to this point instead of the actual origin. So with respect to this point, if I say angle 0, that means this will be the direction angle 0, and r100 means I will reach up to here. So just see, let us check it by pressing enter button and see whether we really reach over there. Yes, we have reached there. And suppose I want to come back to this point through relative polar coordinate method. How to do that? I will type at the rate 100 less than, angle will be minus 90. So I have reached back to this point. In engineering graphics or engineering drawing, most of the time Cartesian coordinates are used, and in Cartesian also most of the time it is the relative Cartesian coordinates which are very much used in engineering graphics. Many places the absolute ones are also used, but most of the time it is much easier to use relative coordinates rather than absolute ones. Okay, now I finish this command over here by pressing enter button. There is another method of drawing vertical horizontal lines very easily, that is using ortho mode. So for that I first give line command, enter. Now the computer is asking me specify start point, right? So I say, let's say 150 comma 0. So I want to start the line from here. Now I want to go horizontally and vertically, right? So over here you can see ortho mode button is there. At present it is turned off. So turn it on by clicking over here. Now the direction you can see, you can only click in horizontal and vertical directions, not any other direction, because ortho mode is on, right? So I specify the direction by moving the cursor, and then I just need to enter the distance value. So I type 10, enter. Now go vertically, again type 10, enter. Horizontally 10, enter. Vertically 10, enter. So here basically I am giving a kind of, you can say, absolute relative Cartesian coordinates, but I am fixing one of the coordinate. I'm keeping either delta x as 0 or delta y as 0 by locating the cursor appropriately. So I want to draw now horizontally, so I move the cursor here, type 10, enter. Vertically 10, enter. And then horizontally 10, enter. Vertically 10, horizontally 10, vertically 10, horizontally 10, and up to here. Now you can see exact endpoint is being highlighted. Why? Because O snap option is on. This we will study later in detail. What is O snap? This is an O snap option, right? There are different object snaps which are useful. We will study this later. For this time, you can simply say that next point is 150, 0, and then enter. So this is how we make use of ortho mode in drawing vertical and horizontal lines in AutoCAD. Okay, next there is another command, polyline. It creates 2D polylines. So here the shortcut for polyline is PL. Just type PL, press enter, and the command is Pline. Pline. I always prefer to use the shortcut PL. Now it is asking specify start point, so you can click here. The next point you can only go in vertical or horizontal direction because ortho mode is on, right? So if you want to turn off the ortho mode, just click over here on this ortho mode button. So now you can draw inclined lines also, and if you want to draw an arc in between, you can click on arc but word over here. And there are some other options also, like you can increase or decrease half width, and then you can specify radius. Many other width also you can specify, but these options are not so useful. You can explore yourself. So I am clicking it here, then pressing enter. The difference between a line and suppose I use a line command, right? Undo. I give line command, go vertically up, this way. So C for close. Now difference between this kind of line segments and these kind of line segments is, if I click over here, you can see it is a single entity because it is drawn using polyline method. But if I click over here, there are so many entities. These all are separate entities. This is a major difference between polyline and line. If I draw using polyline, these are all converted into a single entity. But most of the time we make use of line command only in engineering graphics. You can explore other options of polyline command if you wish to. Okay, then we have circle command. This is used to draw a circle. If you click over here, the command will be executed. It is first asking you specify center point for circle. So I click on the screen and then I mention the radius. Now it is asking specify radius of circle. Let's say radius of circle is this much. So C is the shortcut for circle command. Type C, press enter. Now it is asking specify center point of circle. Let's say center point is 100, 100. So that means this point will be picked up as center point. This is 100, 100. So press enter. Now that is the center point, right? Specify radius of circle. Radius of circle, I want to keep the radius as 10 units. Press enter. So this is a circle of exactly 10 units with central point at 100, 100. Again I give circle command. Specify center point. Again same center point 100, 100 and 100, 100. Enter. Now instead of radius you can also mention the diameter. So click on diameter here, or you can type D, the highlighted alphabet over here, highlighted letter D. Type D, press enter. Now the option will this question will change. Now the computer is questioning you specify diameter of the circle. So here let's say the diameter is let's say I want to use double the diameter. That means double the radius, right? Instead of previous 10, radius is let's say 20, so the diameter will be 40. So type 40, press enter. This circle is of diameter double than the diameter of the smaller circle. There are many other options also. Let me erase this, select and erase. Again C for circle. Now there are different options, like you can use 3P, 2P and TTR. TTR, it's a very interesting option. So click over here TTR. Now it is asking you specify point on object for first tangent of circle. First tangent. So let's say this is the first tangent. Now it is asking second tangent. This is the second tangent. And now it is asking radius. Let's say radius is 10. Enter. Now this circle is of radius 10 units and it is tangent to this line also, which we selected earlier, and this one also, second tangent. So this is the tangent radius option. Again circle command. There is 3P option also. You can draw a circle passing through 3 different points. So I use this 3P option. Here it is asking specify first point. Let's say this is the first point. Specify second point. Let's say this is second point. And specify third point. So let's say this is the third point. So this circle is passing through 3 different specified points. Again C for circle, and I use 2P option this time. 2P option means the two endpoints which you select, these will be treated as diametral endpoints. So now it is asking specify first endpoint of circle diameter. Let's say this is first endpoint. Specify second endpoint of circle's diameter. Let's say this is second endpoint and the circle is drawn. Next you can draw arc also. This meeting will end in 1 or 2 minutes, so you can join at the same link. I will restart the meeting, and within next 5 to 10 minutes we will try to cover the rest of the 2-3 important tools also. Okay, similarly there is arc command. So you can click over here, or you can type ARC over here, arc. Press enter. Now it is asking you specify start point of arc. Let's say this is start point, second point, let's say this is second point, and end point. So let's say this is end point. And of course there are many other options also, but I generally prefer to draw complete circles instead of drawing arcs. And because it is very easy to convert circles into arcs using trim option. So there is a command called trim. Select, let's say this as cutting edge, this as cutting edge, and I don't want this portion of the circle, this portion of the circle. So it is much more interesting to work with circles and trim command rather than using arc. So there are different options in arc command also. What is trim command? That we will discuss later on. That is a very interesting command and very useful also in AutoCAD. So click on arc, specify, you can either specify start point and then, or you can use this option also. It gives you another option, so you can specify center. So now it is asking you specify center point of the arc. Let's say this 0 0 is the center point of arc. Now it is asking specify start point of arc. Let's say this is the start point, and then you can specify the end point also, right, by clicking on the screen, or through keyboard also you can enter the endpoint, or you can also specify angle, like rotation angle, whether you want an arc up to 45 degree, 30 degree, 90 degree, or 180 degree or coordinate. So this time I am specifying the endpoint, second endpoint. So by clicking on the screen only, I click on the screen here. So this is how the arc is drawn using center point option first. Now to draw a rectangle, click on rectangle tool, or you can type the command shortcut REC. REC is the shortcut for rectangle. Rectangle is the command used to draw rectangle in AutoCAD. So I type REC for drawing rectangle. REC, enter. Now it is asking specify first corner point, let's say 0, 0, enter, and second corner point, let's say -20, -20. So a rectangle is drawn wherein the first point is 0, 0 and second point is -20, -20. And this is here I have used absolute coordinate method. This will work properly only if you are only if this dynamic input button is off. How to see this dynamic input button? You click over here on the three lines, click on this customization, click here, and here you can see dynamic input option is there. If it is not checked, then that button will not appear over here. You will have to first click over here, check it, and then this button will appear, and this should be turned off. If it is turned on, then even if you try to enter absolute coordinates, then there will be confusion. The computer may understand the coordinates as relative only. So make sure that this button is turned off. So click on this dynamic input button to keep it turned off. Okay, next is to draw an ellipse. So you can draw the ellipse by clicking on this ellipse tool, right? And it will ask you specify center of ellipse. So let's say this is the center of ellipse. Now it will ask you the end point of axis. An ellipse has two axes, right? So first end point of first axis is, let's say, over here, then second axis, let's say, over here. I am mentioning it by clicking on the screen, or you can use keyboard also to enter the exact coordinates of the axis endpoints. Okay, now there is let us do something interesting now. Let me erase all other things here. This thing we will do in next class. P for pen, place it here. Array classes. So polar array, select object, select these objects, enter. See the preview, enter. Number of items 40. See the preview. So this is a polar array which has been drawn. space bar, click center point, choose a different center point, let's say this one, see the preview. Now this is a different array than which was drawn earlier. Again click center point, let us make this a center point, see the preview, a different array again. Space bar, you can select the number of items also, let's say it is 100. Now see the preview. So this seems to be a very interesting command array which we will discuss in our next class. You can again press space bar. Yeah, the array can be rectangular also. Let us see the preview and the space bar. Row offset, let us first increase it to 50 and column offset to 100. Let's see the preview. So this is a rectangular array. Press space bar. Let's increase this to 500 column offset and this also 500. See the preview. So this is a polar array here. See the preview. Okay. See the preview here. This is a polar array. You can increase the number of items also. You can increase the number of rows, number of columns and so on. This we will discuss later on. This was just an brief introduction to create your interest in the forthcoming practical class which will be held next week. So this is a polar array preview, and if you want to accept it, press enter instead of spacebar. Then the command will be completed.